Welcome back to Blam Blam Truckers. That's right. I'm Beas.
I'm Beas.
Yeah, you sure are, buddy. And we are here to try and focus on what we like, what we enjoy, on the positive things in not just gaming, but geekdom in general. And today, we're going to be telling you about the WWE. The WWE. The WWE! Yeah. Current storyline. We're walking into the road to WrestleMania. The road is almost complete. But at the same time, there's some bad stuff happening behind the scenes that I think is important to cover. So Vince McMahon, a month ago or so, was accused of doing some heinous things behind the scenes. And we have so far, up to this point, only heard one side of the story, his accuser's side of the story. And I just wanted to take a moment and remind everybody that we've only heard one side of the story. We don't know what actually was going on. We did see some text messages that he sent her, and those do not look good if what happened between them, one, actually happened, because for all we know, this could be fabricated. I don't think it's fabricated. It doesn't seem to be fabricated, but if they can show that it's fabricated, we don't know. We haven't heard the other side yet. So we haven't heard the other side yet. That's the thing we have to keep in mind here is we've heard the accusation, we have not heard the response, and we probably won't until the court case. If they even open it up to the public, then there's all sorts of ways where he may be able to prove that this was consensual. He may be able to prove that it didn't happen, that he didn't send those texts, that the texts were fabricated, that the events in question didn't actually happen. The one really strong condemning piece to this whole puzzle is John Laurinaitis, his representative has come out and said that John Laurinaitis, who worked for the WWE as head of talent relations with the wrestlers, that his involvement in this was coerced by Vince McMahon. That's not a strong advocacy for Vince McMahon. And I'm not saying this as a friend of Vince McMahon. I don't know the man, never met him. I'm not saying this as a WWE fan. I'm saying this as somebody who believes in justice. You don't judge somebody based off of the accusations against them. You judge someone based off of what can be proven as fact. And you always go and listen to both sides of the story. All you truckers out there, I hope you're open-minded enough to listen to both sides of the story. Because right now we've just got accusations. And I can't condemn someone from a one-sided story. What do you say, Beas?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with it. I don't know much about this particular story, but
oh, it's awful.
All I do know is this: that when it comes to anything, the court of public opinion is not an actual court.
No,
and
it's a horrible place to try and prove yourself.
And again, I don't know the story, and I'm not saying innocent, guilty, whatever. Just remember how Johnny Depp was dragged through the mud before everything came out. That's all I've got to say. And don't get me wrong, even in that, he wasn't completely innocent of everything. But just in general, try to let more information come out before making a final judgment. You're perfectly within rights on anything to withhold money until stuff comes out, just so that you're not supporting somebody that you don't want to on any particular issue. But before condemning someone, at least let them have their day in court so that at least you can take a look at the overall evidence.
Yeah, that's all I'm really saying here too. Don't condemn them until you've heard both sides of the story. I really don't know what he could say that could get him out of this, or what he could prove, but beyond proving that the accusations are false, that's really what it would take. And I think using Johnny Depp as the example again, because otherwise we have to go into politics for me to know any examples. And frankly, I already had enough of that today. We doing our previous recording that we did. I don't come on here to talk politics. I come on here to talk about stuff I love, like, I don't know, Burn Notice, or my WWE game is here somewhere. I got a lot of stuff around here. Here it is. This is the WWE game I still play. If you can see it, it's the 2010 Raw versus SmackDown. 2010. I have one more advanced edition from on my Switch, but that's still the version of the game I play. I think it's actually in my PlayStation 3 right now. I haven't played it in a few months, but I really enjoyed that game. Yeah, it was 14 years ago now. Yeah. Anyway, keep an open mind. We haven't heard his side of the story yet. He said it's not true. That's all his lawyers have come out and said, is that he denies all accusations. So Vince McMahon has not always been clean in the past. This woman did have an NDA with a company, non-disclosure agreement. So clearly there was something they didn't want her talking about, but an NDA could cover all sorts of things, including just work secrets. Most people who sign an NDA isn't for anything. I'm going to use the word skeezy as what's been brought up here. It's usually just because companies don't want their secrets getting out. That's pretty fair. They have competition. So I don't know what the NDA was for. I've read part of the lawsuit. Frankly, I don't recommend reading it unless you really, really want to know. It's not pleasant. But there is stuff about the WWE that is pleasant, including their current storyline. So, are you up to date on any of this storyline with the WWE coming into WrestleMania? Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. That's not the voice I wanted to use, but I'm in the middle of this and don't have time to take a second and prepare for it. So Cody Rhodes is going head-to-head with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. We've already talked something about this and how the fan response, this is really the part of the story that's amazing, is that the WWE listened to the fans. So when Rock comes back, looks like he's going to be facing off against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and the fans wanted nothing to do with it. They want Cody to finish his story at WrestleMania. They want him to win at WrestleMania, and hopefully they'll let him win at WrestleMania. And that's what I kind of want to talk about. Right now, it's more, if you're watching it, it's less about Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has actually taken a backseat to The Rock, which is hard not to do. But The Rock just sang some songs on Friday Night SmackDown, some blues songs in the Memphis style, because they were in Memphis, Tennessee, which is where he started wrestling. It was fun to watch. If you're a Rock fan, you'll enjoy this. He's still the bad guy, and he gave himself a new nickname, or WWE came up with a new nickname for him called the Final Boss. I could have done my Vader voice. Sister, you have a sister. Obi-Wan was right to hide her.
It's the final SmackDown.
What's his name there? Yeah. So Rock is definitely taking center stage, taking it away from Roman Reigns, but they still want to do. They started this off with the idea of Rock versus Roman Reigns, which would make a great pay-per-view, make a great match. If I had to guess, and I don't have to, but if I had to guess, I would guess that they're now setting that up for SummerSlam, because the two biggest pay-per-views that WWE does is WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, and SummerSlam. So I think they're probably going to do that at SummerSlam, Rock versus Roman Reigns. But right now, Rock has joined the bloodline. He's part of the family. He keeps calling Reigns family. That's what got him into the whole fight, turned him heel, going up against Cody Rhodes, the biggest babyface in the current WWE, one of the biggest babyfaces in WWE history. Somebody whose performances I've enjoyed for the last 10 years, 15 years. Yeah. So all of that's going on. But you need to know the setup before I tell you what I think is going to happen, or how I do it anyway. There's 2 nights to WrestleMania now, for those of you who haven't watched it more than a few years. The first night, it's going to be a tag team match, Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and the current WWE Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Current Universal Champion, WWE Universal Champion, is Roman Reigns. He's over on this side with The Rock. And then you've got the Heavyweight Champion. It's not for the title. The stipulation on the match is if Cody and Seth win, then the rest of the bloodline will not interfere with Cody and Roman's match on night 2. Because night 2 is going to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. That's night 2. That's also Seth Rollins defends his title against the Scottish guy there, Drew McIntyre. So that's night 2. Night 1, if Roman Reigns and The Rock win, then it's free reign for the bloodline during the match for the title. Now, most people think that Cody is going to lose night 1, so that night 2, the match is going to be crazy with the bloodline. I don't think that's what's going to happen, or at least that's not how I would do it, because my eyes aren't on Cody's story. Cody's going to finish his story this year. We all know it's scripted. Unless there's an injury, Cody's going to beat Roman. He's going to get the title. It's time for Roman to put his title away. He's had it for 2 years now or so. It's time for the title to change hands. There's not much more you can do with the bloodline story going without a major upset, which is what I think is going to happen. I think Cody and Seth freaking Rollins are going to win night 1. Or at least actually, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't necessarily think this is what's going to happen. This is just what I would do. So, Cody and Seth freaking Rollins win night 1. Reigns is the biggest heel right now in the WWE. The man keeps his title at all costs. So even though he's agreed to the stipulations of the match for night 1, that the stipulations for the match of night 1 will affect night 2. As the head of the family, he's going to tell the rest of the bloodline, I don't care what we agreed to. You guys are going to come in and help me beat Cody Rhodes on night 2. And Rock is going to have a problem with that. And it's going to split the bloodline. Because Rock gave his word. It wasn't just Roman Reigns' word. It was Rock and Roman Reigns' word. And that will start the feud. If I was writing this, that will start the feud that culminates in a match at SummerSlam down the road. Is Roman Reigns is not fit to be at the head of the table, the leader of the bloodline. And it's that match, I think they're going to lose. Roman Reigns and Rock are going to lose that match. And then he's going to send in the Solo and whichever Uso, I forget if it's Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso who's with him off the top of my head. But one of the Usos is with the bloodline and one of them left the bloodline. He's going to send in Solo and the Uso that's still with him to interfere in the match. And when he does that, Rock is not going to like it because Rock gave his word. And that would allow us to quickly turn Rock back to a babyface, to a good guy, because now he's defending his honor, his word. He's defending his family from the corruption of Roman Reigns, and that would be the storyline I would use to lead into SummerSlam. So we're setting it up now at WrestleMania in April for SummerSlam, which is in July or August. I forget off the top of my head. What do you think, Beas? You like what I'm doing there? Or?
Sure.
Yeah, did you follow what I said there, or
yes.
Did it not make enough sense?
It did make sense, yes.
Okay,
I
good.
followed enough of it. But when it comes to wrestling, a lot of it's just like, okay.
It's been a long time since Beas has followed the WWE. And with their rebranding to be more kid-friendly, I don't blame him, because he doesn't have a kid, and I don't have a kid, or do you have a kid? You holding out on me, buddy?
Not that I'm aware of.
WWE is a lot of fun to watch right now. The storylines they're doing are getting better. They're not where I think they should be, These guys get 5 hours of television. It's more than 5 now. You got NXT. These guys get 6 to 7 hours of I forget how much it is. 6 to 7 hours of television a night. Most TV writers would kill for that kind of, not kill, would love to get that kind of time. The stories they could be telling, the story from what they've told in the past, the way they've done storytelling in the past, because it's entertainment. All of this is entertainment, and some of the amazing stories have been told through wrestling. It's the home of, it's the current home of American melodrama is wrestling, and they've got the opportunity to tell great stories, and they're starting to do that. This whole Cody Rhodes thing that's been going on for the last 2 years, the Bloodline storyline that's been going on longer than that, they really have something. They're really starting to some of their storylines are starting to get very good, and I'd love to see them become amazing. If you guys, anybody at the WWE is listening to this and would like to hear some story pitches, I've always got story pitches for everything. And if I don't have a story pitch for you off the top of my head, which is a very rare thing indeed if I don't, give me a week and I'll have something amazing for you. I should do my Transformers thing out here at some point. So, anything you want to add to the story here? Anything you want to jump in and chime in with?
I can jump in with the people's elbow? I have no idea. No.
You want to do the rap again?
No, it's quite all right. It is one of our better videos.
Fair enough.
But I only take risks for copyright strikes, every once in a while.
I do it all the time. Yeah. Start taking a look at some of these clips if you can find a minute. I think you'd really enjoy them, especially The Rock singing. He's not the best singer in the world. I understand why he's not a professional singer, especially now that he's, 55? Pushing 60?
Hey. He's had more songs on, the Billboard Top 40 than either of us ever will.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but certainly more than either of us have had up to this point. Of course, one would be more than either of us have had up to this point.
I think You're Welcome made it up there at one point. So.
Oh, yeah. And he did a great job with You're Welcome, but this was live. This wasn't in any way. It didn't seem to be, sound edited at the time. Yeah, he did a good job. The songs were, a little obvious, but because it's about WrestleMania. They were enjoyable. It was a fun time. The insults back and forth, and then the pathos that Cody is bringing, because Cody is bringing. He's pretty serious about this. He's treating this seriously, and The Rock, while treating it seriously, also being The Rock, has a joking attitude about it, and so he's taunting, he's teasing. I don't think he's brought back the whole "it doesn't matter what you think," but he's brought back a bunch of his catchphrases. Yeah, it's a really fun. It's enjoyable. If you've been out of wrestling for a while, you might want to jump back in. All right.
Good.
Should I do my standard?
It's number 2. Go for it.
My request. Please, if anyone out there in Blam Blam Truckerland, after you like, share, and subscribe, please, if you know David Zaslav or anyone over at the WB, I'd love to pitch a movie for them for their DC storylines, for their superhero movies. I've got some great ideas. Yeah, starting with fiscal responsibility, because I've said it on here before and I'll say it again because we're talking about The Rock. If Black Adam's budget had been kept reasonable, then the $400 million we spent to see that movie, because I went to the theater to see it, the $400 million that we spent as fans to go see that movie should have been resounding, we like this, not a, wow, we lost money on this film. It did not even break even. Came close, but it did not break even. So, yeah, that's not on the fans. We enjoyed Black Adam enough to go and see it and say, you know what, we wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to this. it's the budget that stopped it from being a success, not the fans. So, fiscal responsibility in filmmaking. That's one of the things I'm all about. You want to walk us out of here, or is that good enough?
Yeah.
Say goodbye to the truckers, Beas.
Goodbye, everybody.